Okay, thank you very much for coming tonight. As you know, we're conducting 3 evenings of interviews with our finalists for Superintendent for Des Moines Public Schools, and I'm glad you could all come tonight, and I want to thank you. Some of you were here last night, and some of you are new tonight. So I hope you enjoy the evening, and I hope that you have your questions asked of Dr. Wright.
It is my pleasure tonight to introduce Dr. Carey Wright this evening. She is the district's second of 3 finalists for the position of superintendent. And she is currently the Chief Academic Officer for the District of Columbia Public Schools in Washington, D.C. Previously, Dr. Wright was the Deputy Chief for Teaching and Learning with the District of Columbia Public Schools. She also served as the Associate Superintendent for Special Education and Student Services for the Montgomery County Public Schools in Rockville, Maryland. Dr. Wright's educational background includes a Doctor of Education degree from the University of Maryland. And I would like to invite Dr. Wright to say a few words, and then we'll open it up for question and answers.
So thank you so much for having me here tonight. This has been a wonderful day. I always love that. I was telling folks today when I was out, I was in 4 schools today, and there's nothing more exciting than being back in school. So, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later. But I thought I would share some of my core beliefs and a little bit about my background experiences with you tonight, because I think it's important, since you're getting ready to hire a new superintendent, to know what does this lady believe in and what kind of experiences does she bring. And so I want to talk to you just briefly about that. The first thing I want to say is that I am incredibly passionate about student-centered leadership. And I think that as long as we keep children at the center and at the heart of what we're doing, whether that's at the district level or the school level or in the community, we are all here to serve kids. I believe it's also, having looked at your data and talked to some folks, it's also my job to ensure that we raise the bar for our highest achieving children while we are closing the gap for our lower performing children. I think that being able to differentiate that kind of instruction is critical. Leading for equity is important. Diversity is important. And that is the beauty of the Des Moines public school system. I believe in the power of partnerships. I welcome, absolutely welcome, actively engaged parents, businesses, community members, institutions of higher education, government officials. I think that the more that people can come together and focus on education and what's in the best interest of the Des Moines public school system, the better we're going to be. I have a strong instructional background. I'm pretty well grounded in curriculum research best practices. I was a school-based principal for a number of years, so I feel like I know what good instruction looks like when I walk into a classroom, and I feel very blessed to have had those experiences. I am a very open, transparent, and honest person. So those of you that get to know me will know that. I believe in being highly collaborative, and I value building strong relationships. I think you can't say enough about relationships, regardless of who it is that you're working with or are working for. And I also believe in building the leadership capacity in other people. Those people that, if you talk to that know me, will tell you that I have a good way of building very strong teams and also backing up and letting leaders be leaders. It's not just a one-person show, even as the superintendent. A lot of folks think, well, it's the superintendent that drives all that, and no. It's the superintendent and her team that drive all of that. So I think that's an important thing, a distinction to make. There is true power in a strong team. I have led significant achievement gains for the same subgroups of population that you were struggling with. And I've also led significant achievement gains for higher achieving students. So both of those skill sets, I think, are important when you're coming in to take a look at the district and what's going well, and there's a lot that's going well, and areas that you really want to make stronger. I practice data-driven instructional decision-making, and I don't say that lightly. I'm a big one on gathering data to inform any kind of decision that you want to make, regardless of what that decision is. I think that the more you can look at that, because then to me, once you get all this data together, particularly when it involves children, you've got to drive down to put a face on that number. When you look at things in the aggregate, you lose perspective because all children are not in the aggregate. They make up individual little persons that together form the aggregate. So I think you have to drill down and put a face on that. And I also believe in excellence for all. As a principal, as a chief academic officer, as the associate superintendent, it didn't make any difference what job I had. Excellence for all means all. And a school system is recognized for ensuring that all children are performing at high levels. I have a tendency to set very high expectations and a certain high level of accountability for me. I always have. I believe in the old, buck stops here, and I believe also in setting those same high expectations and that level of accountability for the district in which I work. Because parents and community are depending on me and depending on my team to ensure that their children are getting the very best education possible. My fiscal background, I feel very blessed. In Montgomery County, I managed a budget that was over $350 million. So I feel coming into the district and having that kind of fiscal background, I know yours is hovering right around $474 million in total, and so I feel like those kinds of skill sets are important, particularly in a district like Des Moines that has looked at shrinking budgets over the past few years, and then how do we get more with less? That's something the nation is facing, but I do feel that I've got that. So here's the areas that need my attention. So I've taken a look at that too. So as your superintendent, these would be the areas for me that would need my attention. We're increasing in the number of students who are English language learners and children who are qualifying for free and reduced lunch. Addressing the needs of both of those groups of children require very different strategies. There is a significant achievement gap in Des Moines between white students and every other subgroup. And that is something that we need in order to close the gap. We've really got to be focusing on that singularly. And this is where I think transparency is really important, because I think the community needs to see the same data that I'm seeing and that schools are seeing and that teachers are seeing, so that we can start looking at what is it that's happening inside our schools, what are district practices that we may need to take a look at, and that's why I keep coming back to putting this face on a statistic. Special ed students and your English language learners are your consistently lowest subgroups that are performing. And we need to change this trajectory. Those happen to be two subgroups of the population that I have a lot of experience with in the districts that I've worked in. We can celebrate increasing the graduation rate. Des Moines increased their graduation rate by 3.47%. It was the highest in the state, bringing it up to 79.15% of a graduation rate. But my concern as your superintendent would be that we're still below the state average. And I'm not one that likes to be below anything. I like to be above things. So when it comes to how we're compared to other people, so I would be looking to how could we increase that, particularly when you're looking at the graduation rates of your special ed, Hispanic, and children that qualify for free and reduced lunch, because their graduation rates are hovering in the mid to low 60s. Our dropout rate is twice that of the state's. And the good news here, though, is that we've got about $15 million to address dropout prevention. So that's the good news with this. Our suspension rate has increased. In 3 years, it's gone from about 6% to almost 9%. And we are disproportionately suspending African American special ed and children that English is not their first language. So we need to really take a look and see why is this occurring, because this is something that we need to reverse that trend. Technology, our technology systems and platforms need to be updated. We need a professional development platform. This would be something that I envision for teachers and principals, if you want to put it out there. And this platform would have immediate access to all kinds of student data. It would have all your curriculum resources located on it. It would have videos of amazing teachers teaching on it. And it would have the ability for to load up our curriculum resources so that regardless of where you are across the district, you had access to that. We also need the ability to conduct professional development via a teleconferencing way. That, to me, is a huge piece that I know a lot of systems are taking a look at. We don't necessarily always need to be bringing everybody to the same spot if we had the ability then to bring PD in through a teleconference. Our budget revenues, as I said, have been declining, but the good news is we're expecting to have a $3.4 million surplus, and so we need to look very carefully at how we're going to spend that. But a big key for me with our budget is if we can increase enrollment, we can increase the budget. And that to me is a huge piece. We need to be the draw for the state. And I think we're poised to do that. I think we've got the potential, I said this earlier to somebody, to become the flagship system for the state of Iowa. That's huge. And I see us doing that. That's not without the realm of possibility. All the right tools are in place. You offer a variety of academic offerings. You've got dedicated school and central office staff. I saw amazing teachers and 3 amazing principals today doing their work diligently. You've got a strong business community. I think that's something that we could certainly harness. And these are all assets of a strong school system. Because if you can develop a strong school system, you can develop a higher market, an economic development piece that goes along with that. Because people flock to a strong school system, and with that brings the economy. So there's 2 things that I would want us to think about doing. One is called a Cradle to Career initiative. That is a writ large community project. Cincinnati did it, and they've seen tremendous results. We've just gone through a planning process like that in DC, and you literally bring in every single partner that's out there in the city, and you look at the metrics that you want to create, and then you start building that system, and everybody comes together to make that happen. The second thing that I'd want us to take a look at is developing a really strong strategic plan. I'm a big one on setting targets and then monitoring where we are on hitting those targets. That we put a lot of formative assessments in place, in school systems that I've worked with for just that reason. Because you don't want to get to the end of the year and go, oops, we missed that target. Because you've got children all year long that need that ability. You need the ability to kind of be nimble and change your instructional pieces if you see that children are needing something differently. So I'd want us to look at that. Because I think that in order for Des Moines to really reach there, we've got to be able to provide the best education possible for every single child, regardless of their background and regardless of their circumstance. Poverty is not an excuse. We have control over what we have control over, and that's the instructional program. So I believe that I possess kind of unique skill sets to bring to the district, and look forward actually to being your superintendent. So those are kind of my opening remarks.
As you know, we're conducting interviews in our search for the next superintendent for the Des Moines Public Schools, and tonight is our second interview with Dr. Carey Wright. It's a pleasure to see you again. I know that you've toured our school district and you've met with parents and other advocates of the schools and answered their questions, and now you're here for your final interview with us, and we're looking forward to it. It's always a pleasure to have the interaction with you. As you know, we'll rotate the questions around, and I have the first question for you, Dr. Wright.
Back one page.
Yeah.
There you go.
Take 3 minutes to introduce yourself to the Des Moines community, please.
I am pleased to be here. Thank you so much. I have been, just a little bit about my background, I've been a teacher, I've been a principal, I was a director of special ed and student services. I've been the associate superintendent for special ed and student services. When I first came to DC, I came as the deputy chief for teaching and learning, and then moved into the role of the chief academic officer. So that's a little bit about me. I've got 2 daughters that I'm, delighted to say are grown and very independent women, which has been a pride of mine. But I just am excited about the opportunity to become the superintendent here in Des Moines.
Okay, Dr. Wright, why Des Moines, why you, and why now?
Okay. Well, I look at this honestly. I feel like I have been preparing all my life for this job. I've been very thoughtful about the jobs that I've taken in order to provide me the set of experiences that I need to be an outstanding superintendent. It wasn't by accident that I, left Howard County of many years and went to Montgomery County, a system that was 3 times the size. and focused on 17,000 special ed children, which was a monumental task with a job of, solve special ed and get funding under control. And that was a huge learning piece for me. And so I feel like, managing budgets now with what the experience I've have had, that works. And working with children that are so underperforming and seeing the success rate that we got, that made me incredibly proud. I went to DC because I really wanted an urban experience. I really wanted to, I'd worked in suburban districts, high-performing suburban districts, and my heart was, I'd watched DC from afar and felt very fortunate to be asked to come and do this work. It's hard work. Urban district is hard work. But it's where your heart is. It's kids that need you so much. And so I feel that the years that I've spent in DC have really been a learning experience for me, because I now know what I'm facing with urban education and what I'm facing trying to lead an urban district. I think that my strengths and my background and the skills that I bring are well suited to this district. I think that trust me, I've poured over and over and over your data, and I think I can bring strategies that I've used and employed. But I want to also stress, this is not a one-person job. Does the buck stop at my desk? Absolutely. But you do this as a superintendent with a team. And I met the executive team today, and they're a group of very dedicated, very smart people, ask some very insightful questions. And I think that as a superintendent, to me, I'm about team. And so I think that I can bring skill sets to this district that you need at this time. Des Moines, I feel the challenge, because I would love to be the superintendent that does make this school system the flagship system of Iowa. I would love nothing more than that opportunity, because I think I can do that. I've got confidence in myself. I've got confidence in my background. I've got confidence that I can lead this district in a humble way, honestly, but a way that's very, very committed to making this the most successful system in the state of Iowa, if not the nation. We need strong urban districts to set examples for other urban districts. And I feel that this district is poised to do that. And I feel that I am the best person right now to come in and do that for you. And I say do that for you and do that with you. This is a partnership. And I've said that to you in my earlier interview. My relationship with you is a partnership, just like my relationship with my schools and my principals. That's a partnership, and my executive team. You get further by doing that, by doing work together. And so I feel that this is a good place. Somebody asked me tonight, how was it the parent phrased it? I think, well, my response was that, no, this is going to be for me like the Supreme Court Justice. I don't remember how the question was phrased, but no, I'm coming here to stay. I'm coming here to live my life and to bring the best that I can to the children of this district. So I can't be any more sincere than that, because that's just who I am. And I'll always be honest with you about that. So that's why I feel I'm the best person for this job right now.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wright. It's been enlightening again. I think we enjoyed the interaction with you.
Good, thank
we
you.
have one more interview to go, and then we'll
Absolutely.
Be trying to make a decision regarding that. So we'll get back to you then. And I want to thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Spending time with us, spending time with our community. I think everybody received you well, and I think they were happy to meet you. So thank you very much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. You have a very, very difficult decision ahead of you, and I wish you the best with that. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you.